on Thursday's meeting with Russia and Ukraine is very important. I was very insistent that that meeting take place. I think good things can come out of that meeting. Stop the bloodshed of the horrible, it's a bloodbath. But that 5,000 more, it's really much more, I'm trying to be conservative, more than 5,000 soldiers. Russian, they're not American soldiers, they're from Russia, they're from Ukraine, but they're people. They're human souls, and they're being killed at levels that we haven't seen since the Second World War. And it's every week. A lot of drone fighting. It's a whole new form of warfare, and it's violent and vicious. And so that's it.
This is my video update on this Monday afternoon, May the 12th, coming to you from Nicosia, Cyprus. Let's talk about some news. And we are going to start things off with the train trip to Kiev. I'm going to talk a little bit about the terrible rumors and smears surrounding Macron and Merz as they were traveling to Kiev. Smears and false information started by MAGA far right, according to the collective West mainstream media, MAGA far right and pro-Kremlin Putin stooges. Those are the people that are spreading this false information about Macron and Merz, who were traveling along with Stammer and Donald Tusk, going to Kiev to meet with Zelensky so that they could issue the ultimatum to Russia, the 30-day unconditional ceasefire ultimatum to Russian President Vladimir Putin. So let's talk a little bit about Crazy Train. We're going off the rails of a crazy train. All right, so we're going to start things off with the Wizard of Oz, Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy Train. All right, let's see. A lot of fake news around this video that has surfaced, and it was, I believe, it was taken by the photographers that were following around these great four leaders as they were on their way to Kiev, and somehow this video from one of the photographers or videographers, it got onto social media, and it shows Macron and Merz hanging out in one of the rooms on the train, and Stammer comes in. They're all dressed very casual, right? Because not only are these leaders brilliant, not only are they brilliant men, but they're also pretty casual and cool, right? And look, you've all seen the video. It looks like Macron is putting something away in his pocket. Merz looks like he's covering up something when Stammer enters the room and they realize that the cameras are on and they're recording. What it was, according to, just so I can dispel the fake news, what it was, according to the official account of the ETHEREUM, was a tissue. A tissue is what was on the table, according to the ETHEREUM. When European unity becomes inconvenient, disinformation goes so far as to make a simple tissue look like drugs. This fake news is being spread by France's enemies, both abroad and at home. We must remain vigilant against manipulation. And it has a photo of the tissue. It says, "This is a tissue for blowing your nose." And then it has next to that photo, it has, "This is European unity to build peace," showing Macron and Stammer and Merz dressed in their casual wear. Because not only are they brilliant, but they're also pretty cool. So yeah, it was a tissue, guys. It was a tissue. Tissue. It's happened to me many times. Whenever I'm blowing my nose, and I've got snot and boogers on that tissue. I don't want anyone to see it, so I also hide it. That's what it was. And as far as the thing that Mertz put away, it was a stirrer. So you can stir your drink, okay? Everyone knows that Mertz likes to drink his martinis stirred, not shaken. Stammer likes his martinis shaken, not stirred. Mertz likes his martinis stirred, not shaken. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say about these rumors spread by far-right MAGA. Damn you, far-right MAGA. And America First, far-right MAGA. And by Kremlin disinformation. Damn you, Kremlin disinformation. You come here to this channel for the real news, and I am going to give you the real news. However boring it may be, that is the real story as to what went down on that train. Boogers and snots. That's what we're talking about. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on here. And, you know, I was looking at the photos taken of these brilliant and great leaders who are also pretty cool and casual. But when they were dressed up in their suits and ties that they wear so elegantly, the suit and ties, the power suits that they were wearing when they got to Kiev, and the four great leaders, along with Churchill #2, were walking the streets of Kiev, and the photographers took many photos of them walking around the streets of Kiev. I was thinking to myself, I go, man, all these photos look so similar to something. It really reminds me of something, and I just could not put my finger on it. And then it hit me this morning as I was drinking my coffee and eating my spinach pie. I realized, Friends, that photo is the photo of Friends. The 5 leaders walking in the streets of Kiev, looking cool and casual, reminds me of this photo that you're seeing on the screen right now. That's what these photos were. So you could say that, let's see, you could say that Zelensky is Rachel, Macron is Ross, Tusk is Phoebe, Mertz is Chandler, no doubt about it, and Joey, well, that has to go to Stammer. How you doing? How you doing? I'm Keir Stammer. Oh man, I'm being silly this Monday, but seriously, that's what that photo reminded me of. I just thought I would share that with everybody. So let's continue with some news. And yesterday, I talked about Trump taking Putin's off-ramp that Putin had provided to Trump, perhaps the final off-ramp from Project Ukraine. Putin called for direct negotiations, Russia and Ukraine, in Istanbul without preconditions. And I said in my video update yesterday from Limassol, this is an off-ramp gift from Putin to Trump. What Trump needs to do is he needs to put out a post and say that Ukraine should definitely go to these negotiations, and then walk away from Ukraine. You're out, man. Ukraine, we suggest you go to these negotiations, talk to the Russians. We're done with Project Ukraine. What a gift from the Russian president, Vladimir Putin. And you know what? For the time being, at least for today, because this could change tomorrow, this could change by the time this video is published, but at least for now, at the moment of recording this video, it looks like Trump took that off-ramp. He posted on Truth Social, President Putin of Russia doesn't want to have a ceasefire agreement with Ukraine, but rather wants to meet on Thursday in Turkey to negotiate a possible end to the bloodbath. Ukraine should agree to this immediately. At least they will be able to determine whether or not a deal is possible. And if it is not, European leaders and the US will know where everything stands and can proceed accordingly. I'm starting to doubt that Ukraine will make a deal with Putin, who's too busy celebrating the victory of World War II, which could not have been won, not even close, without the United States of America. Have the meeting now, in all caps. So the reason he threw in that World War II jab at Russia is because Trump feels a bit bitter. He is a bit bitter at the fact that he was outplayed by Russian President Vladimir Putin. That's why he threw in that World War II jab. But the basic message from this Truth Social post is that Trump is telling Ukraine, go to Istanbul, talk to Russia. That is the basic message that Trump is putting out there. And before this post was published, Zelensky, he said that he would, I believe he said he would be willing to talk to Russia, or that this was a good first step. Putin's direct negotiations in Istanbul. But Zelensky and Yermak, his entire staff, they said we're not going to go anywhere. We're not going to meet with anyone until Russia agrees to the 30-day unconditional ceasefire, and their deadline is Monday, May 12th, today. Today is their deadline. I believe that's what they said before this Truth Social was published. No, that is what they said. They said it was a good first step, whatever, we'll talk to Russia, whatever. They said something like that, but then they qualified it and said, but we're not going to do anything. We're not going to meet with anybody until Russia accepts the 30-day unconditional ceasefire. In other words, until Russia surrenders, we're not going to meet with them anywhere, anytime, any place. We're just not going to do it. And then the Truth Social post from Trump was published, and Zelensky did an Annalena 360, not a 180, a 360. He did a 180, but we'll say an Annalena 360. What is Annalena Baerbock doing these days? Is she in New York yet? Anyway, this is what Zelensky posted on X. He said, we await a full and lasting ceasefire starting from tomorrow to provide the necessary basis for diplomacy. There is no point in prolonging the killings, and I will be waiting for Putin in Turkey on Thursday. Personally, I hope that this time the Russians will not look for excuses. When he says that last sentence, I hope that this time the Russians will not look for excuses, that's a tell that Zelensky and Ukraine are looking for excuses. That is pure projection. This is a PR stunt. This is a stunt from Zelensky and his team. Actually, there are some Telegram channels, Ukrainian Telegram channels, that claim that Yermak came up with this post, this stunt of Zelensky to say that he's going to travel to Istanbul. Him personally, Zelensky, Churchill number 2, is going to get on a plane and go to Turkey on Thursday and wait for Putin. And Axios is reporting that Zelensky is going to do this even if Russia does not surrender today. Even if Russia does not come out and say, okay, we surrender, we agree to a 30-day conditional ceasefire. Even if they don't do that, according to Axios, Zelensky is going to be in Turkey on Thursday waiting to meet with Putin. But the Telegram channels in Ukraine, they are saying that Yermak came up with this stunt, and according to these channels, Zelensky will refuse to negotiate with the Russian delegation if Putin does not come to Istanbul. So basically, what Yermak came up to, and what Zelensky is thinking of doing, because there's a good chance that he might not show up to Istanbul at all. But let's just say he does get on a plane and go to Turkey. What they're going to say is that Zelensky is here, I'm here in Turkey. What? Russia sent a negotiating team? No, I'm not going to meet with any negotiating team. I don't care who it is. I don't care who their chief negotiator is. I don't care if it's Medvedev. I don't care if it's Lavrov. I'm meeting with Putin and no one else. And then he's going to say, you see, I came personally to Istanbul. I'm serious about peace. Putin was chicken. He did not want to show up to Istanbul to meet with me. He's not serious about peace. Give me money and give me weapons, U.S. President Trump. That's basically the stunt that they're looking to pull, according to Ukraine Telegram channels, cooked up by Zelensky's entertainment lawyer, Andrei Yermak. Doesn't Ukraine law, on a side note, doesn't Ukraine law prohibit Zelensky or anybody in Ukraine, any top official in the government, from negotiating with Putin? That law is still around. So what's he going to do about that law? Is he going to cancel that decree or that law from the parliament? Is that going to get canceled? Because Zelensky's not going to be able to talk to Putin according to the decree that they passed a couple of years ago. You cannot talk to Putin. You cannot negotiate with Putin. They seem to have forgotten about that decree and that law. They don't want to mention it as this stunt, this PR stunt, is unfolding and it's in play. Even the collective West media that are supporting Zelensky and they're pushing the narrative that Zelensky, man, this guy is an incredible leader. He is Churchill #2 because he is going to go to Turkey personally to confront Putin. What a leader. What an incredible leader. That's the story that they're putting out there. They don't want to mention the law, the decree that bans any negotiation with the Russian president. Anyway, I thought I would just mention that. By the way, Turkey, at the time of this recording, they have said that the Ukraine government has not officially stated that they will be in Istanbul. They have not officially said that they will be sending either the president or a negotiating team to Istanbul. But after Putin's very late night, early morning Saturday speech, immediately after his speech, like 2:33 in the morning, the Russians understood that Zelensky would be trying to pull one of these stunts. And what they did is they issued a statement. They had Ushakov issue a statement that very same evening. They didn't want to wait till the morning. Nope. That very same evening, right after Putin gave his speech, Ushakov clarified what's going to happen. And he said, look, what we are going to do now is we are going to put together a negotiating team. We are going to prepare for direct negotiations with Ukraine. We're going to prepare for bilateral talks with Ukraine. We're going to assign a chief negotiator. We're going to put a team together. We're going to contact Erdogan. And we're going to do this thing the right way, by the book. And that's the way these things usually go down. The way these things work, these negotiations work, is that the leaders of the countries, they show up once everything has been decided, and they show up to sign the papers. They don't appear in the beginning to negotiate the deals. That's not what the leaders, the presidents of prime ministers of countries do. They assign a team, they assign chief negotiators. Those people meet, they talk. Sometimes they meet many, many times. Sometimes they talk and discuss over many weeks, over many months, sometimes over many years. They come to an agreement, they prepare documents, and then usually you have a big event where papers are signed by the leaders. That's exactly how this thing goes. So unless Putin shocks the world and actually decides to go to Istanbul, which would be a huge mistake. It would be a diplomatic mistake. It would be a protocol mistake. And it would mean that Putin is lowering himself to Zelensky's level. But this is not something that Russia is going to do by having Putin go to Istanbul to meet with Zelensky. Russia's going to do this the right way. They're going to send a negotiation team. Ukraine should do the same. They're going to assign a chief negotiator. Ukraine should do the same. And they should meet in Istanbul and begin the process of talks. So I would be shocked if Putin actually goes to Istanbul on Thursday. I mean, I would be absolutely, completely shocked. But Zelensky says he's going to be there, which shows you the level of Zelensky, and also shows you Zelensky's understanding of negotiations and diplomacy, and also shows you Zelensky's panic and desperation, because he's saying this in order to win over Trump, right? Because Trump put out that Truth Social post, and Zelensky is hoping that when Putin does not show up, and he should definitely not show up, but he's hoping that when Putin does not show up on Thursday, if Zelensky is in Istanbul, then he's hoping that he can say, I showed up in person. You see Trump, I'm the winner. Now keep on supporting me. That's what he's trying to do. But the rest of the world will know that it's very weird for the leader of a country to be present during the start of negotiations, whether it's a war, whether it's trade or tariffs. You didn't see Trump in Switzerland, did you? With the Chinese. You didn't see Trump and Xi Jinping in Switzerland. No. Trump sent his team, headed up by Bessent. China sent their team, and we got a deal, actually. We got a deal, or at least the beginnings of a deal. What we got is a trade truce for 90 days. A trade truce. And the Financial Times says, as part of an agreement hammered out in Geneva over the weekend, the U.S. will lower tariffs on Chinese goods to 30% from 145%, and China will reduce duties on U.S. imports to 10% from 125%. So basically what they did is the delegations, they met in Switzerland, not the leaders, the delegations met in Switzerland. They talked it over a couple of days, and they decided, you know what, we need more time, so let's call a 90-day truce. Let's de-escalate for the good of both countries and for the good of the world markets. And we'll lower our tariffs by 115%. You lower your tariffs by 115%, so equal. And now we have 90 days to continue to talk. There it is. Very good. A very good development. So, going back to Zelensky, that's what's at play here. That's what he's looking to do. He's looking to say that he showed up and Putin didn't. So he's the bigger and better man. Silly stuff, very silly stuff from Churchill #2. But the Europeans, they'll go along with it. The collective West media, they'll go along with it, and they will prop Zelensky up, and they will try to put pressure on Putin, and they will try to put pressure on Trump. And who knows? Maybe after Thursday, if Zelensky does show up in Turkey, maybe after Thursday, Trump will put out a post on Truth Social, and he'll say, Volodymyr Zelensky showed up in Turkey. He's serious about peace. Putin did not show up. We're going to place bone-crushing sanctions on Russia. It's possible, man. Everything's possible. Everything is possible. I hope that Trump takes the off-ramp, continues to move on this off-ramp, and exits Project Ukraine for good after Thursday. If I was on his team, that would be what I would advise Trump. Get on that off-ramp, man, and just exit off of that highway. Get off of the crazy train. That's what I would be advising Trump, because Putin has handed him a gift with these talks in Istanbul. So the new foreign minister of Germany, Mr. Mr. Wormer. Wormer, no, his name's not Wormer. His name is Wonderful. 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 Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful. He is saying that if Putin does not accept the 30-day ceasefire, then Germany will have no choice but to send Taurus missiles to Ukraine. That's his threat to Russia. Either accept by today, by this afternoon, by 12 o'clock midnight. You have till 12 o'clock midnight to accept the 30-day unconditional ceasefire. And if you do not, then we are sending Taurus missiles to Ukraine. Which way should we go? Let's go this way and down. So that's the message from the German foreign minister. Let's do one more story, and then we'll talk about today's clown world, which is actually a pretty cool and interesting clown world. I'm interested to see what you guys think about today's clown world. But before we get there, let's talk about Donald Tusk, one of the 4 members that went to Kiev. Donald Tusk. He put out a post yesterday on X, and he said, "We now know for sure that the Great Fire of the Mariwilska shopping center in Warsaw was caused by arson ordered by the Russian special services. Some of the perpetrators have already been detained. All the others are identified and searched for. We will get you all." That is what Tusk posted. So that fire that happened in 2024, I think it happened in March, either March or December of 2024. From what I understand, there were no casualties from that fire, but it was a big fire in a shopping mall. A lot of damage, a lot of shops, and the actual structure, the shopping mall, was very much damaged by this fire. Which way should we go? Let's go down this way. According to Tusk, it was Russia that was behind this. He says that they have the information that this was ordered by the Russian government. Now, the first question that comes to my mind is, why would the Russian government order a shopping mall to be put on fire, to be burned down? I don't understand that. Maybe Tusk has the evidence. Maybe he has the receipts. I don't know. He said that they've caught some people that were behind this. He says other people are on the run. But my question to all of this is, why? Why would you, if you're the Russian government, what is the reasoning, the value of burning down a shopping mall? Just doesn't make any sense to me at all. But that's the first question that I have connected to this story, to this claim from Tusk. The second question that I have, not really a question, but a comment, is that this is interesting timing, isn't it? Right after he's done visiting Kiev, and you have this little scandal about the train going on with his 2 buddies, his 2 pals, you get this story that Russia burned down a shopping center, a shopping mall. I don't know, the timing seems very, very convenient, but I could be wrong. Maybe Russia did do this. I don't know. I don't know. What do I know? I'm just a guy walking around the streets with a camera, but I don't know. The timing of it all seems very, very convenient. And then you read some of the details about this story, and wouldn't you know it, that a lot of the evidence originates from Lithuania. The evidence that Tusk has connected to this fire is coming from Lithuania. Tusk had said in March that evidence from Lithuania, and this is coming from Politico, by the way, so not a Russia-friendly media outlet, but they said that Tusk had said in March that evidence from Lithuania suggested Russia was to blame for the attack, in line with suspicions in Poland, but his statement on Sunday was unequivocal in assigning responsibility to Russia. The Lithuanian investigation found that in May 9th, 2024, arson attack on an IKEA store in Vilnius, as well as the May 12th, 2024 Marivilska fire, were set by Ukrainian citizens acting on behalf of Russia, Tusk wrote in March. A week earlier, Polish prosecutors had said a Belarusian refugee was responsible. So this is according to Politico. A lot of this stuff appears to be originating from a Lithuanian investigation into two fires. One fire that happened at an IKEA store and another one that happened at this shopping center. Now the Baltics, they would conduct a fair and proper investigation, wouldn't they? Right? The Baltics, in no way would the Baltics try to frame Russia, right? No way. Not the Baltics. No chance. Anyway, that's the story there. So let's do a quick clown world, and we can wrap this video up. And today's clown world, I don't know if it's a clown world. I just think it's an interesting development. And it has to do with Trump's trip to the Middle East. And I believe he is going to be meeting with Qatar. He's going to have a meeting with Qatar. And they have said that they are going to be giving the United States a gift, a 747 aircraft, a very luxurious 747 aircraft. We're talking, this thing is super nice. I'm going to put up some photos so you can see what we're talking about here. This is the airplane that Qatar is going to be giving to the United States. And it's causing quite a lot of debate. Is this right? Should Trump accept such a gift? Should the United States accept such a gift? I don't know what the right thing to do is. Trump, he posted on X, not on X, on Truth Social. So the fact that the Defense Department is getting a gift free of charge of a 747 aircraft to replace the 40-year-old Air Force One temporarily in a very public and transparent transaction so bothers the crooked Democrats that they insist we pay top dollar for the plane. Anybody can do that. The Dems are world-class losers, MACA. He has a point. He has absolutely a point. This is being offered in a very, very transparent way. Like, you can't get more transparent than the way this is being done. And the argument is that the United States should purchase this plane. I'm not sure how much that would be. I read somewhere this could be, I think I read $300 or $500 million. Not sure. But of course the U.S. could buy it. Just about any country could buy this type of plane if they really wanted to. But I don't think that's the point. I think the point is that Qatar wants to give this as a gift, right? They want to give this as a gift for many reasons. We can think of many reasons. Maybe some good, maybe some not so good. But it's being done in a very transparent way. I think that's important. Anyway, what are your thoughts about something like this? And more importantly, I've figured out a way that I can solve this problem. I can solve this issue. And the way I can solve this issue is I'll take the plane. I'll take it. Don't worry about it, Trump. Don't worry about it, United States of America. I'll take it. Qatar, you can just give me this plane, and we're all good. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and X. Go to the Duran shop, pick up some merch like what I'm wearing in this video. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel if you want. If you subscribe to this channel, then I'll tell you what, if you subscribe to this channel and Qatar gives me that 747, I'll give you that 747, okay? All right, we have a deal. Take care.